Why don't we finish up with Outlaw King? You know what I liked most about this movie?
Chris Pine's dick.
That was second. Number one was it was on Netflix, so I watched it from my couch. I'll give any movie I can watch on Netflix some points. For in my book, David Mackenzie. This is his first movie since Hell or High Water, which was nominated for Best Picture. Uh, Outlaw King with Chris Pine. It's a period piece. Like it's a period war movie, which is all I think I feel about it. Just because I don't really love these movies. I didn't really love Braveheart, although I've seen parts of it. I thought some of the action and fighting was good, and there were a couple of nice like relationship moments. But otherwise, I just kind of was like, must fucking suck to live during that time. Like I'm so glad we live when we do.
Yeah. It's just like, yeah, hammer that home real quick. It's just like, fuck. They Robert the Bruce's wife is back at home. Oh shit. I hope the prince doesn't come, otherwise he's gonna rape and kill us all, and we have no say in the matter. It's not up to us. Like it must suck.
No bueno, dude. Also, I mean, I know that they cut this part, but so much William Wallace talk and then no William Wallace payoff. I was like, man, just wanted to see what you were gonna do with it.
Well, I mean, he's dead in like the first 15 minutes, so
I know, but I just wanted to see him. He was supposed to be in the movie.
Well, and that's what's actually really interesting about this is when it premiered at Toronto a few months, 2 months ago. It was not, it didn't do well. It was very long. It was like 2.5 hours, I think, and the pacing was just all off. And that was really what everyone was saying. And that's despite the fact that I think there is good performances in this. There's pretty shots of Scotland and well choreographed action, all things that should be positives for the movie. But because it just seemed messy, it was pretty savaged, right? And then, I think to a lot of the critics' credit, they rewatched this new cut, which is 23 minutes shorter, and gave it a fair shake once more, because this is the version that me and you and everyone else is actually going to see, right? And a lot of these re-reviews, I think all the re-reviews are more positive, and a lot of them actually became positive reviews, right? And part of that was cutting things that didn't really matter. I think the pace of the movie that they saw was very slow to start, right? Part of that is him meeting Wallace chance encounter in the woods.
Yeah.
There was like this other chase scene, but they just kind of established and like slowly drew up Robert the Bruce's motivations. But the conflict didn't start for a while. I think that's what like lost people at the premiere. So I think, credit to David Mackenzie and to Netflix for giving him this chance. They gave him 2 weeks to recut the film right after. And, he also credit to him for realizing it, seeing in the moment, being like, shit, this isn't working. I need to fix things. And it's funny because he never really made movies that long before. So, I think that took a lot to, kill your darlings in that regard. But the cut we did get, I like these kind of movies. I like war films in general. I like medieval films like this that don't have a fantasy element. This is not King Arthur: Legend of the Sword. This is just let's watch Robert the Bruce kick some fucking ass. Let's watch Aaron Taylor Johnson be a fucking unhinged psycho and murder people. It's fucking badass.
That was awesome.
And I think it was really pretty. And it's funny because the movie cost $90 million, expensive, but I mean, I would have thought it was a little more expensive, to be honest, given it's shot all in location, all over England and Scotland. And I think it really started off. I really liked how it started with, all the Scottish nobles, bending the knee to Edward, right, and like having the truce for the first conflict, right. And then they have that quick duel where they establish that Edward II's a fucking prick, right? And then Edward comes back out and it's like, hey guys, let's have a good time. Let's use our fucking shiny catapult and just burn this castle. And it was just like, it was all done in the one take. They go out of the tent, in the tent, out of the tent. And, some like shit talking in the duel. Like, I thought that was a really cool scene. But overall, I was kind of like on the edge of my seat just watching it happen. And it's funny because I was pausing it a lot to like go on Wikipedia and be like, oh yeah, he was played by that guy in Braveheart. They're the same guy. Oh, I get it now. And it's funny because as a person with a history degree, English history always was a little dull to me, despite the fact that there was tons of war, right, and tons of people getting
Mhm.
like killed and betrayed and stuff. But I guess seeing it on screen like this was cool. I'm interested to hear what you would think of Mary Queen of Scots when it comes out in December with Saoirse Ronan and Margot Robbie, because this is basically taking place in the same area, like 200 years later.
I'm probably gonna be very bored by that story as well. Honestly, like that opening scene was probably my favorite part of it. I felt like, this might be just who the character was, but Robert the Bruce didn't really capture me as the main character, and I mean the whole story revolves around him. It's
Mhm.
it's his story, and I don't think Chris Pine acted it poorly. I think just the character in general was he's very introspective. He internalized
Yeah.
a lot and kind of reserved, even in some of his tactics until this actually brings me to another point. But he doesn't really start propelling or taking chances to figure this all out until his wife is captured and he finds out about it. It's almost like a very traditional movie in that sense, like war movie in that sense, like general who's just trying to like take care of things and get by, and then his wife is captured, so now he's got to start making these crazy chances and really trying things. I was like, all right, man. Like I've seen this
Mhm.
story. This character isn't super enthralling. Some of the fight scenes are good, so I'm gonna keep watching. But overall, I just was kind of like, it's a very meh. I'd give it like a 60, 65 if I had to out of
Mhm.
100. So, I mean, but it's on Netflix, so bump that up to like a 69 for me. Hey.
Nice.
Any
Also,
last thoughts on this?
I mean, shout out the guy Stannis, Stephen Delane, as Edward,
Yep.
rocking that blonde wig. I actually thought all the times where he roasted Edward II, his son, was just really funny. He's
Mhm.
like, was it that scene before he rides out right before he dies? He's just like, I had hoped that I would never have to ride again. I hoped wrong. Like he just like those
Yeah, he
roundabout
was
way
great.
just shits on his son in front of everyone. You know.
Mhm.
Um, yeah, it's interesting. I saw some criticism going around that the film treatment of female characters is pretty rote, pretty, you know,
Mhm.
backward. And it's like, it's tough because I think Florence Pugh, who really bust on the scene last year in Lady Macbeth, she's definitely a young actress to watch. She'll be in a Little Woman, the Greta Gerwig movie. But
Mhm.
I think she's pretty good as his wife in the scene she has. But yeah, she doesn't have a lot of scenes, but also the role of women, I think in this specific struggle was probably was from what we know not that intense. I mean, there were some scenes between Pine and Pugh that were cut. I heard, and I did think they had good chemistry in the
Yeah.
movie. But yeah, I guess that's a fair take. But you know, I think if anything, the main takeaway, of course, is that Chris Pine is just lapping the field in the Chris Wars these days.
Oh yeah.
He continues to make the best choices and have the most success. And it's awesome to see because he was always my pick, and I always laughed when everyone's like, no, it's Pratt right now. It's like, bitch, please. Pine has always been the dude. And more evidence right here.
Well, I think there was a period, especially when it first came out, where Pratt was up there. It's actually funny. I think Pratt would be in third right now because your guy Chris Evans getting out of that Captain America contract. He couldn't be happier. Even if he doesn't have anything lined up, he's just happy to be done.
Yeah,
So,
it'll be interesting because I want to see what is Evans going to do now. I think he's done some theater, but like because
mhm,
Hemsworth is interesting because he has made some cool choices apart from Thor, but very few of those movies were actually successful financially, and that is a part
right.
of his calculus, right? But Pine, in between Star Trek, side role in Wonder Woman, now this, he's doing all
Hmm.
these things, and apart from I think Rush, Hemsworth has had a bunch of misses. Like Bad Times at El Royale movie, he's barely in, did not do well
Miss.
either. And Pratt quickly has so far come across as more one note, between
Hmm.
Jurassic World and Guardians. So yeah, shout out Pine. I think this is a cool movie to do because you do have a lot of pressure on you to make a movie that is literally the chronological sequel to fucking Braveheart. And Braveheart's a very popular movie, granted historically inaccurate to write for a lot of reasons, but well
Hmm.
known, right? So following that up is not easy. But I thought Mackenzie, who was a Scot, paid a lot of care to this, and yeah, I think Pine and Taylor Johnson, uh, you know, they brought it for this movie, and now without its flaws, but again, for a Netflix movie. On the other hand, I thought this would be cool to watch on a big screen, but getting to watch all that shit in sanctity of your own home is also pretty cool. So, you know, shout out Netflix for dropping the bag for this one.
Shout out Netflix.